Well, good evening, everybody. If you remember a couple of weeks back, I predicted that Trump would try to get us in some kind of a small conflict someplace uh, to take the pressure off of him at home. Well, it looks like the conflict that he might not get to choose which one he wants to do. But there's two available: North Korea and Syria. Now, Syria poses a almost insurmountable problem because of the presence of the Russians. You'd like to be able to eliminate the chemical weapons, and why, with all the boasting Trump did and all the condemnation he made on President Obama for not doing anything about these chemical weapons, why he's let them exist for the first 70 days of his administration is beyond me. But the question there, from the way I understand it, and believe me, the Air Force doesn't consult me, so I don't know what weapons they have available. But I don't know if there's a major danger to bombing these storage depots of chemical weapons and releasing a tremendous cloud of these chemicals, and depending on which way the wind blows, they could kill a great many people. The option would be we have a bomb that is so big uh, and what it does is it incinerates huge area. And how they do that is that they mist the air, and I mean a great deal of cubic yards, maybe cubic acres of air with highly flammable liquid, and then ignite it, and it incinerates everything. So if you could simultaneously blow up the depot and then incinerate the gas before it floated away. But of course, that's going to engage a awful lot of collateral damage any way you go about it. And if some of the collateral damage is the fact that there'll be some Russians incinerated in the process, then I doubt that anybody in the Congress or hopefully in the Joint Chiefs of Staff is going to go in that direction. Now, the North Korean one is just as troubling. The problem there is that you've got to wonder if you could eliminate the head, then maybe the rest of the body would just fall apart or start fighting amongst themselves, because the hierarchy in North Korea has to be so afraid that they're going to do something that's going to piss this nutcase off, that he's going to have them eliminated, so that it might not be that dangerous an affair and might not create quite as much chaos as we think, if some way you could just eliminate the head, and hopefully the rest of the body would remain, and it would remain intact, and that they could then take over and make some accommodation with South Korea. Although you'd have to do it awful quick, because Seoul is only 50, 60 miles, and it's got 8 million people in it, and quite capable of being not eliminated, but really bombarded with conventional artillery. It's right lined up against the DMZ. So they're both very sticky questions. But when you're dealing with someone like Trump, there's a possibility that he's in deep shit now, locally, here in the United States, and that the greater the distraction, the greater it is for him, and that the American public might not want their president being investigated in the midst of international chaos. So it's going to be some very interesting times, but this is the way I viewed it weeks ago. As soon as it looked like they might actually investigate Trump and the Russians, I felt that his best chance, and what he always does, is he tries to distract you away from one problem by introducing a smaller problem, but one that'll take take up the time of the news media. Well, if we are at a state of a small incursion into a foreign country, then that will absorb a lot of the local pressure that he's getting here back in the United States. But either way you look at it, I think he's going to be less than a one-term president, and hopefully a lot less than even a half-a-term president, because he has not been making very good decisions. And it'll be very interesting to see if he can make a decision that somehow affects the Russians bad enough that Putin will release all the information that they have on this land son of a bitch.